check here. Yep, we're good. Yeah, you're right, Coolio. There's really, again, like, both with the victim and the defendant. Again, it's not like Danganronpa where you have like chapters of getting a chance to know the people involved before it all goes down. Here, it's more like they just throw you right into it. Anyways. Mr. Fowl's like, I'm sorry. I want to say thanks. You're real good. You really hooked me up. Thanks. We're almost there. Once I prove that she committed the crime... Yeah, but there's one more big obstacle we gotta get past. Obstacle? Yeah, motive. Why would Melissa Foster kill that policewoman anyway? Motive, huh? Anyway, we're still badly in need of information. Information, right. What we need the most is info about this Melissa Foster herself. All we know is that she's a student studying literature. And one more thing. What is it? Well, the incident that happened 5 years ago, of course. The kidnapping murder case that Zebra Boy's on death row for. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. Mr. Fowles, in that case, tell us more about it. About what happened 5 years ago. Yes, that might prove useful. Okay, I trust you. That day, 5 years ago, I dream of it every day. What happened? This picture, it reminds me of everything. Bridge looks the same, just like then, 5 years ago. Like it could fall apart any minute. Huh. So it's been broken like that for at least 5 years. Huh. Sorry, buddy, but you sound like the one that could fall apart any minute. It's true. I did kidnap her. Oh. 5 years ago, I kidnapped my girlfriend, Dahlia Hawthorne. There it is. Your girlfriend, huh? Hey, hold on there. Did you say Hawthorne? Yes, same last name. The victim's last name. Dahlia Hawthorne. Valerie's little sister. What? Are you serious? Girl, let her go. Shut up. Come closer and I'll kill her. Sorry, but you're not gonna get the chance. The detective back then was Valerie Hawthorne. At first I thought shooting someone for a kidnapping was crossing the line, but if it was to protect her little sister, I can understand why she did it. Wrong. No protect sister. Valerie betrayed me. Betray us. Huh? What do you mean she betrayed you? Everything. All lies. All make-believe. Kidnapping, too. A make-believe kidnapping. Dahlia, my girlfriend, my love, my teen angel. Oh, did they actually say my teen angel? I've seen one too many soap operas. And to anything she says, anything Dahlia says. Anything Dahlia says? Hold on a minute. What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by... Yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie, too. Huh? When they start talking like Gonta, right? Valerie was in on it? Dahlia's family rich. Jewelry business. We get one jewel. That's what we thought. Me and Dahlia wrote kidnap note we sent to her dad. Ask for $2 million diamond. Tell him make exchange on Dusky Bridge. We tell him Valerie make the transfer, cause she knew detective. Having a police detective in your pocket's a useful thing, alright. In the end, you were planning on splitting the 2 million 3 ways, huh? Yeah, but that woman... She go into business for herself? That woman, Valerie, she do it for real. She shoot at me for real. Me and Dahlia. Oh. I was shot in arm. Dahlia, she jump in river. Jump? You don't mean she jumped on purpose, do you? I couldn't do it. I could never push her. Anyway, I blacked out. Wake up with police all over. And that's when they decide to give you the death sentence. I couldn't believe it. That woman, she betrayed me. Valerie, you mean? That man, Terry Fowles, he killed her. He threw her off the bridge. He threw my beloved sister into the roaring river 40 feet below. These 5 years, all I wonder is why? 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 Why did she lie? That's all I want to know. So that's why you called her. You wanted to hear the truth from Valerie herself. Yes, but I forget what she looked like, so I tell her to wear a scarf. I don't want to hurt her. I just ask why. Why? Why did you lie? Why did you betray me? I just want to hear answer come from her mouth. That's all. So that's why. That's why you made a crazy escape like that. Just one thing, Zebra Boy. My senses are tingling all over. Tell me, Mr. Fowles, where is it? Huh? Where's what? Come on now, kitten. The ransom. The $2 million diamond. Oh. Remember that now. Did you give it back to Pops? Did the police take it? I don't know. Huh? You don't know? No, really, I don't know. It's gone. With Dahlia. Did she take it? With Dahlia? Okay, it's not on the court record, but... Oh. That day, on the bridge. Dahlia put it in backpack. I see. Yeah, she did take it. Now gone with Dahlia. Gone forever. Into Eagle River. It disappeared with Dahlia, huh? Wait a minute. Come back in now. We're ready to go. Mr. Fowles, just one more question. When you said with Dahlia, do you mean the diamond is still missing? Along with the body of Dahlia Hawthorne? Never found her. My sweet Dahlia. They never found her. Swallowed by river. Gone. Dahlia, my teen angel. Your teen angel. How old was she anyway? Just 14. 14? Guess you were robbing cradles before diamonds. She plans a fake kidnapping and disappears into the river with a rock worth 2 mil. Man, oh man. Angels these days. Fowles takes the fall and gets a one-way ticket to death row. Is Dahlia Hawthorne an angel, or is she really, It's time, kid. Looks like we have a few more aces up our sleeve now. You bet. $2 million gem, used as ransom for Dahlia, lost to Eagle River 5 years ago. The train wheels come off now, Mia. Gotta strike while the iron's hot. That's one of my rules. Remember it. Alright. Now then, let's continue the trial of Mr. Terry Fowles. Witness, are you feeling better? Yes, Your Honor. I'll try my best. Yeah, you bring your butterflies in here. You're a brave young lady. Not this again. I can understand a defense lawyer wanting to get her client off the hook. However, to try and pin the crime on an innocent student is... What are you talking about? My witness is not the person on trial here. She's an innocent bystander who witnessed a violent crime. That's all. What possible reason would a girl like this have for murdering a policewoman? It's certainly hard to imagine this woman's a murderer. Her motive, huh? I figured that's what I had to establish next. Especially her own sister. Well, Miss Fade, you have any evidence of a motive? Yes, of course. I think. Still acting as tame as a kitten. Mr. Armando. Listen. A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Ah. That was advice that Mia always gave Phoenix. And here Armando is giving Mia that same advice. Smiling on the outside while your guts are twisted in knots is the mark of a pro. Maybe so, but I wish you'd quit grinning at me like that. Excuse me, may I speak, Mr. Judge? Of course, Mr. Judge is ready anytime you like. I'd like to say something. Some people here are suspicious of me, right? That's why I at least wanted you, Mr. Judge, to know that it's not true. I see. You're such an honest and upstanding young lady. Oh god, he is still eating out of her hand. It looks like this witness is a real professional. What do you mean? Look at that 100-watt smile. Just when things are darkest for her. Click. She lights right up. Very well then, let's hear what the witness has to say. Alright, Melissa Foster. I was out of the country until the year before last. Until I entered college, I'd never been to Eagle Mountain before. And I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago? Or kidnapping a poor girl? I just think the defendant is a terrible, horrible monster. Out of the country, eh? Precisely. Furthermore, she has no possible motive for committing murder. Indeed. You're up to bat, kitten. Sharpen those claws and put on your best smile. You bet. Somehow I have to tie her to this case. So how the country don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Perhaps, but your behavior that day was very suspicious. Not only have you contradicted yourself here in court, but you know things that you shouldn't. For example, the scratches on the trunk of the car. Well, that's... Oh, you wagging your finger at me, Edgy. Unfortunately, Miss Fay, your last statement proves nothing. Oh, really? And why's that? The witness came to the police station once to identify the suspect. It's entirely possible that, at that time, an officer showed her this photo. That seems like a rather serious mistake. That's the oldest trick in the prosecutor's book. That's not fair! That wicked inmate. I'll never be able to forget that horrible day. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago? A grudge. Well, the policewoman's testimony was crucial, wasn't it? Crucial in getting the defendant sentenced to death. Yes, that's precisely why he harbored such deep anger against her. So much anger he forgot his own guilt. My clients always maintain that he's innocent of those charges. He seems rather forgetful. Your client, I mean. Not only did he forget about what he did, but he forgot the poor policewoman as well. What do you mean by that? Your client? He forgot what the detective looked like, right? It's too bad for her that he didn't forget about her testimony as well. She's right about that. Mr. Fowles is kind of forgetful. You said he forgot what the detective looked like. What do you mean by that? Well, he couldn't tell who she was without some kind of identification, right? Right, hence why he had her wear the scarf. Quite right. That's why the victim was wearing a scarf as identification. Why, if I'd been wearing a white scarf that day, then he probably would have tried to kill me. That's true. He's clearly a bitter man. This is bad. Mr. Fowles' reputation keeps getting worse and worse. Sometimes it's best not to poke too deep. What should I do with that last statement? Yeah, let's add that. Your Honor, what the witness said just now is tremendously important. I'd like it added to the official testimony. The prosecution has no objection. Oh, yeah, why 2 bars were exploded? I did fuck up on an earlier, segment, accidentally. After all, the defendant is a killer, and a mentally unbalanced one at that. That testimony only helps to further prove that point. No, that's not why I... Enough. Witness, if you would. My pleasure, Mr. Judge. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. What do you mean by lucky? Well, it's February now. Everyone's wearing scarves. If I accidentally worn a white scarf like he said, then you yourself might have been killed. That would have been a terrible loss for the world. Would it? Looks like you pressed too hard this time, kitten. Mr. Armando? Keep looking around you and you're going to lose sight of the finish line. Justice is blind, but she's not deaf. Sometimes you have to know when not to talk. Are you talking about this blue scarf? Witness, I want you to look at this photo you took. It's hard to see in the photo, but look at the scarf the victim wore as identification. Ah, you're talking about this scarf right here, eh? Yes, that's it. The scarf the policewoman was wearing. I've got her now. Just don't mess up. But that's strange. In your testimony, you stated the following. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. White? This is the scarf you identified as belonging to the victim. But it certainly doesn't look white to me. Well, it was foggy that day, and it was raining as well. It's not surprising that she mistook it for white. Sorry, but not this time. The witness just confirmed that this was the victim's scarf. Yes, but what's the significance? It's true the scarf doesn't look white, but there's only one explanation for the mix-up. The reason why the witness thought the scarf was white is... Witness, have you ever seen this note? No, I never... It's top secret evidence. There's no reason that you would have. I wonder about that. What do you mean? This note shows Mr. Fowle's instructions to the victim regarding their meeting. It says, wear white scarf for identification. White scarf. Oh! Witness, you knew what this note said. And it's because you knew that you slipped up and mistakenly said white scarf. Well, Miss Foster. Order, order, order! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm waiting for an explanation. I'm quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public. And yet, this witness knew exactly what the note said. At the time of the murder, the number of people that knew were quite limited. Terry Fowles is one. The person who wrote the note, Valerie Hawthorne, is another. And finally, one more person. Did you say one more person? That's right, a person that no one would have suspected. Have you figured it out, kitten? Yup. The third person that knew the contents of the note was... And that person is Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? I never heard that name before. Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. There's her name right there. Yeah, talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. The whole truth must come out. What's this? So who's this person, this Dahlia Hawthorne? Ms. Fey must be desperate if she's trying to bring the dead back to life. The dead? Dahlia Hawthorne was the victim's deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago. Killed in a crime? You don't mean... Yes, she was kidnapped and killed by Terry Fowles. You said she was killed, but was she really? What are you implying? Of course people thought she died 5 years ago, when she fell off Dusky Bridge and was lost in the Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found. She was declared legally dead 5 years ago. As far as the law is concerned, Dahlia Hawthorne is officially dead. But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Dahlia Hawthorne was 14 years old 5 years ago. If she were still alive, she'd be 19 now. Melissa Foster, I believe that's the same age you are. Even you couldn't. Miss Fey, you're not sane. But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness before us is the girl that was kidnapped and killed 5 years ago. This girl is in fact Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. What? Nice work. That was like tossing a grenade into a 3-alarm fire. But unless you can tie all the loose ends together, you're nothing but a hit-and-run arsonist. I understand. If I can expose her true nature, I can turn this whole case on its head. Now's my chance to make Mr. Edgeworth squirm. Witness, just who are you anyway? I didn't think it would come to this. That's enough. You don't have to say any more, witness. Yes, I understand. What? Mr. Edgeworth, explain yourself. Oh, yes. I mean, back in, if you recall, back in the first case of this game, it implied that Dahlia knew who, knew Mia from before, and it sounds like this is, this was it. Your Honor, I have an admission to make. I honestly never thought the defense would pursue the matter this far. You don't mean... You knew the whole time, Edgy? Yes, the prosecutor's office isn't filled with fools, you know. Naturally, we conduct full background checks on all our witnesses. He did know the whole frickin' time, you goddamn... Edgy. What did he say? Looks like the kid knew. He knew her true identity from the get-go. No way! But then why... If you hadn't revealed her secret, he wasn't going to say anything about it. All he wanted was her testimony, so he made a little trade. Let me introduce you to the victim's younger sister, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. But I thought she died 5 years ago. We thought so as well, but, well, as you can see. Why? Why did she hide her identity for 5 years? That has nothing to do with the current case. She was merely an accidental witness to a crime. Accidental? I don't believe that for a minute. For the last 5 years, she's been playing the role of victim. And now we find her acting suspiciously at the scene of another murder? Really, Miss Faye, I must say your strategy here is painfully obvious. You're trying to pin your client's crime on an innocent witness in order to win. At any cost. How dare you? Please, let us take a moment to think. 5 years ago, this girl was kidnapped and nearly killed. But even worse than that, 5 years later, Dahlia Hawthorne lost something much more precious. Her big sister. Miss Faye must be insane to even suggest that she murdered her. I'm inclined to agree with the prosecutor's logic. Miss Faye, do you have any evidence to back up your assertion? What possible reason would this witness have for killing her beloved sister? Well, you see, I thought I was winning, but somehow he's turned it around on me. I think you need a little push in the right direction, kitten. The defense is prepared to present evidence supporting our claim. Do we have evidence? That wasn't me. It was this guy, this crazy coffee addict. Oh, shit. I think we've heard enough empty threats from you, old man. What makes you think they're empty, boy? Because your protege looks like she's sweating bullets. I am sweating bullets. You think you're in a tough spot, huh? Of course, aren't I? No. You've just arrived at the moment of truth, that's all. Whether you win or lose, that's up to you. Up to me. Ah, the rashness of youth. How charming. This coming from someone younger than me. Now then, let's not waste any more time, Miss Faye. What motive would this witness have for murdering her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne? We're 30. That bridge. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. The whole truth must come out. The story starts after Terry Fowles escaped. He called Valerie and told her he wanted to meet. This is the note he left. It says, talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. The whole truth must come out. Valerie Hawthorne gave Dahlia a warning. She told her she was going to reveal to the world the whole truth. The whole truth? There was a dangerously important secret between Valerie and Dahlia. That's the reason Dahlia felt she had to kill Valerie. To keep her mouth shut permanently. It had to do with the conspiracy to steal that diamond. A terrific story, Miss Fey, if you like fiction, that is. Enlighten the court, Miss Fey. What was this secret that was so important? Where's your evidence? Dahlia and Valerie Hawthorne, and Terry Fowles. There's only one important secret that connects them all. Yes, I know this secret. Your Honor, the defense would like to request further testimony. What testimony? Regarding the kidnapping 5 years ago, we believe it will explain a lot of things. Such as the nature of the important secret between the Hawthorne sisters. Very well, I grant your request for further testimony. I know to be painful for you, but can you enlighten us once more, my little maple leaf? Oh boy. Can he be any more Canadian? Yes, I'll try, Mr. Judge. Oops. Putting in the old charm one more time, Dahlia. But this will be the last time you hide behind your womanly wiles. "5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Fowles. The ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister, Valerie, brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Fowles in the arm. That's when Mr. Fowles tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money. So I decided to change my identity and start a new life. The kidnapping left her emotionally scarred. With her sister's help, she left the Hawthorne family and started all over again. And we're to believe, after all that, she murdered her sister? Preposterous. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Fey. Yes, Your Honor? As you've heard, the witness is still traumatized from the kidnapping. I'll ask you again to be extremely gentle in your cross-examination. I make no promises. Hey, look behind you! It's Bret Hart! Oh. Mr. Edgeworth got the jump on me again. If we're not allowed to fight, let's twist some arms. Listen up, we still got that info. That ace up our sleeve. What info? Come on, kitten. Don't say you've forgotten already. The fact the kidnapping 5 years ago was staged. Right. That's right, it was a fake kidnapping. Terry Fowles told us that in the lobby. I'll do anything she says. Anything Dahlia says. What you're saying is the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by... Yeah, me and Dahlia. And Valerie, too. Yes, that's it. The fake kidnapping is your best shot, Mia. That's her secret. "5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Fowles. The ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. I heard that diamond is valued in the neighborhood of $2 million. $2 million? It was still uncut, so it was about the size of a pint of milk. Holy crap, that's a big A $2 million pint of milk. I don't know what to think about that." The defendant demanded that her sister Valerie make the exchange. Not as a detective, of course, but as an individual. "By the way, I want to ask you, Mr. Edgeworth, why do you think he wanted to make the exchange up there on that mountain? If he ever got surrounded, it would be hard to escape. There's one thing a kidnapper wants to prevent, and that's police involvement. In a place like that, it would be easy to tell if he was being followed. With only one entrance to the mountain, he was ensuring his safety. What a wickedly clever man that Mr. Fowles is." "Yeah, right. It was all your plan." Anyway, Valerie brought the diamond to the mountain, and after she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Fowles in the arm. That was a dangerous thing to do, considering you were being held hostage. Yes, but actually, that saved my life. What do you mean? You see, Mr. Fowles was holding a knife in his right hand. Somehow, I just knew he was going to use it. I knew he was going to use that knife to kill me. That's why my sister shot him. It was to save me. Phil's tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I'd like to hear more about what happened right at that moment. Well, when Mr. Fowles was shot in the right arm, he let go of me. Wait, he was shot... Okay, he was holding the knife in his right arm. I was dazed. I turned to try and run away, but Mr. Fowles turned to grab me as well. As I ran past, he and I locked eyes for a second, and he gave me a large, bloodthirsty grin. Bloodthirsty grin. Oh. And in the next instant... I advise the court to remember that the river is 18 feet deep and incredibly swift. I was a strong swimmer, but I was knocked out. When I came to, I'd been carried away by the river to a strange place. I'll never forget that day. The crumbling bridge, nowhere to run. Then just one little shove from behind. That was it. Before my sister could catch me, I fell into the river. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money. And that's why you hid your identity? Yes. I only told my sister. Valerie Hawthorne. Yes, she's the only one who knew about me. Meanwhile, legally, this witness has been deceased for 5 years. I didn't ever want something like that to happen to me again. So I decided to change my identity and start a new life. And that new identity was Melissa Foster, right? Yes, my sister helped me get the official paperwork taken care of. That makes sense. Without an insider's help, doing all the paperwork would have been impossible. She was the only person left in the world I could count on. And you think I killed her? There's no way I could. It's the moment of truth for this witness, too. Once the truth about this staged kidnapping comes out, everyone in the court will know how much of a Jezebel she really is. I just gotta prove that kidnapping was a hoax. And how do we do that, though? Is it this? You say Mr. Fowles pushed you into the Eagle River. However, that's hard to believe. But it's true. I felt a push on my back. I'm certain of it. It was Mr. Fowles. Sexy hair flip. I'm sorry, I guess I wasn't clear enough. I shouldn't have said that's hard to believe. I should have said that's impossible. Impossible? I ask that the court recall the condition of Dusky Bridge, now and 5 years ago. That bridge hasn't changed one bit in those last 5 years. If someone had pushed you from behind, as you claimed... Instead of being carried by the river, you would have been smashed by the bedrock below. A most certain death. Do you understand now, Dahlia Hawthorne? The very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible. Your Honor, this event occurred 5 years ago. Why, for all we know, the water level in the river may have been higher back then. True. But it's 40 feet from the bridge to the river. A small change in the water level wouldn't have made a difference. You're right. If the events occurred just as the witnesses testified, then the defendant couldn't have pushed the witness into the river. Young lady, what is the meaning of this? You see, Just a moment, Your Honor. It's true the witness testified the defendant pushed her into the river. However, she never stated she fell from the back end of the bridge. What do you mean? After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Fowles panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. If that's true, she would have fallen into the river. Well, Miss Hawthorne, is Mr. Edgeworth's explanation correct? Now that you mention it, I do remember now. When I fell off the bridge, my skirt got caught in one of the bridge's side wires. You can't be serious! Order in the court. Seems Miss Faye's assault has finally reached its conclusion. You think so, huh? Not now, Mia. This is no time to retreat. Fortunately for you, this is just the start of Miss Faye's assault. What? I believe your reasoning when something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. However, once again, I'm forced to say that's impossible. Thanks, Noble. Ridiculous. What's so impossible about it? Because your flawed logic contradicts the court record. Oh yeah, check this out. Those ropes are pretty high for him to have just... For him to have just pushed her over them. Your Honor, all the answers are right here in this photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They extend up to about 5 feet off the ground. It would be impossible to push someone off from there. But let's remember the size and strength of the individual. Wires like this wouldn't be a problem for him. He could have easily picked up a 14-year-old girl and thrown her over. So young and already so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Fowles has been shot in the right arm. Oh! And more importantly, Valerie Hawthorne had her gun trained on him at point-blank range. Sexy hair flip. So, Mr. Fowles throwing the witness off the bridge? That's clearly impossible. Ugh! Order! What's the meaning of this, eh? Dahlia Hawthorne. You jumped into the Eagle River intentionally. Indeed. What do you mean by such a ridiculous remark? Yes, it's ridiculous! My sister was there to help me! She had her gun and handcuffs. She could have saved me. Jumping into a raging river like that would have been suicide. Perhaps, but still, that's exactly what you did. You were probably confident you could handle the swift current. But even more so, The witness had a much more compelling reason for jumping into the river. Oh, then what was it? What was so important she'd want to jump into the river? The witness is still alive. This fact alone explains everything. This is why she risked her life by jumping into the rapids of the Eagle River. "5 years ago, something else disappeared along with Dahlia that day. The item that Valerie brought to the mountain with her. The $2 million diamond. No! It can't be! Yes, Dahlia had it all planned from the beginning. The $2 million, she was gonna keep it all for herself. She forced Mr. Fowles to help her fake the kidnapping. At the last minute, she betrayed him and threw herself into the river, with the ransom tucked away safely in her backpack. Ooh, that's simply ridiculous. Order. Your Honor, 5 years ago, the witness was only 14 years old. Do you really think a 14-year-old is capable of such a demonic plan? This woman is a demon. And there was one more person who helped make a demon out of her. Her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. Hoo-hoo. You mean the victim was involved in the kidnapping plot as well? But she was a detective then. You're saying she participated in her sister's kidnapping? Precisely. I'm sure that it weighed heavily in our conscience for the past 5 years. This is the sole reason behind the victim's murder. What do you mean by that? On the day of the murder, after receiving the phone call from Mr. Fowles, Valerie called her sister Dahlia. And then she told her what she was planning to do. Planning to do? She was going to tell the whole truth, as she wrote in her note. That is what sealed Valerie Hawthorne's fate. That's when you hatched your demonic plan to kill two birds with one stone. A plan that would ensure neither of your accomplices to the kidnapping would talk. And that's why you killed your sister, Valerie Hawthorne. That look on the judge. Who is that laughing at a time like this? Forgive me, it's just hilarious. Witness, is that you? I think we're gonna find out shortly, Noble. You amuse me, woman, Ms. Mia Fey. You can certainly weave an exciting tale. Naturally, you have the evidence to back it up, don't you? Evidence? Evidence that I planned the kidnapping, of course. That at 14, I plotted it with Mr. Fowles and my sister. Well, And one more thing. What happened to the $2 million diamond? If you can't provide evidence to at least show that. Well, Miss Fey. I don't know. What a joke. You, Miss Faye. Are you stupid or something? How can I prove a fake kidnapping that happened 5 years ago? I don't even have decisive proof of Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Well, it seems we come to the end. To be honest, the witness's behavior does raise certain suspicions. However, I'm forced to reject the assertions made by the defense. She's got her own hair flip. Of course you are. Is this it? Is it really over? That girl's made a fool of me and there's nothing I can do about it. Without evidence, the trial's over. Who decided that? Mr. Armando! Come on now, kitten. Haven't you figured out that you can make your own rules? For example, even if there's no evidence, there's still testimony. Testimony? On the day in question, Dahlia Hawthorne murdered her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. She hid her body in the trunk of Mr. Fowle's stolen car and then went to meet with him. Disguised as her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. That's what you think, right? Yes, that's right. And in that case, there's only one answer, right? There's only one person left who can testify about Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Ah, yes. Fowles himself. Since there's no proof, there's only one thing left to do. Who's the one person who can testify to that demon woman's crimes? Your Honor, the defense wishes to call a new witness. A new witness? Yes. We'd like to hear the testimony of Terry Fowles. The defendant. There's only one person that can shed any further light on this situation. Only one person that knows what Dahlia's role in the kidnapping was. Only one person that can say whether the person in the photo is Valerie Hawthorne, or whether it was in fact her younger sister, Dahlia, disguised as her. There's only one person who can solve this riddle once and for all, and that person is Terry Fowles. Well, Mr. Ageworth, what's your take on this? Nonchalant shrug. Why not? The prosecution has no objection. Very well. Bailiff, bring the defendant to the witness stand. This is my last chance, Mr. Fowles. My last chance to establish Dahlia's guilt. You're all I have left. He and Dahlia had a thing. Will he testify against her, or will he defend her, though? Defendant, you heard everything that's been said up to this point, yes? I don't believe it. No way. Dahlia died 5 years ago. Valerie betrayed me. Mr. Fowles, I don't know what she said to you 5 years ago, but one thing is clear. Dahlia is very much alive. And you were used for $2 million. That's not true. Mr. Fowles, there's only one question I want the answer to. 2 days ago on Dusky Bridge, who did you meet? Was it Valerie Hawthorne, or was it Dahlia Hawthorne? Dahlia, did you betray me? Well, stop chewing on your iron ball for a second at least. 5 years ago, she promised never ever betray each other. Terry. Dahlia? It's true. You are alive. You don't trust me anymore. That makes me sad. Tell the truth. The real truth. I believed in you. I shouldn't need to say it. You already know. What do you mean? But there is one thing I will say. My life is in your hands right now, Terry. Oh dear. I will allow Mr. Fowles to testify once and once only. Well then, Mr. Fowles, yours will be the final testimony in this trial. Witness. No. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. What the hell? Water, please. Water! Can't talk. Need water. Huh. Oh well, I guess it'll have to be my coffee instead. At least it'll match the way he's probably feeling right now. Darker and bitterer than hell itself. Oh dear. That day, 4 p.m., I stopped the car. I was in front of the bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on bridge. I watched my car from bridge. I never put no body in that car. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of me. We talked, then she left. That was Valerie, not my Dahlia. That was very vague. Mr. Fowles, you're covering for her. Do you think she would do the same for you? That's enough, Miss Fay. His last statement was a fitting way to end the final testimony of the trial. Well then, Miss Fay, please proceed with your cross-examination. Is this how you want it to end, Mr. Fowles? Another guilty verdict to go along with your death sentence? There's only one person who can stop it. You, kitten. I think. I think I already see what I need to press. One woman came. She stood in front of me. Mr. Fowles, think carefully now. Are you certain it was Valerie Hawthorne? I never lie, it's the truth. It was Valerie. I remembered her face. Wait a minute, if you remembered her face, then why'd you make her wear a scarf as identification? Sorry, I told a little lie. God damn it. But the woman I met, she was different from the woman standing here now. She was different. It was Valerie. We talked, then she left. What did you talk to her about anyway? Mr. Fowles? Valerie told the truth about the kidnapping 5 years ago. She said someone needed to take the blame for it. That was all I could think to do. She said that. That's why she lied. Got me the death penalty. And were you satisfied with that answer, witness? Dahlia died. It was my fault. But I don't really remember. Maybe I did, Maybe I did push her in. It don't matter no more. Either way, my Dahlia, my sweet teen angel, dead. But you just saw that she isn't dead. After Valerie talked to me on bridge, nothing left to live for. So, when you got to the bridge, no one had arrived, huh? So, you waited on the bridge. You're sure of that? Oh, I see where you're going with this. She would have had to have walked past him to get to where she is. Yeah, I'm sure. You're sure, huh? Well, then I'm sure too, Mr. Fowles. I'm sure that you're lying. Oh? I'd love to hear your rationale on this, Miss Faye. You want to know who arrived at the bridge first? Just look at this photo. It's perfectly clear. Yeah, she was there first. Obviously, the person that came first would be the one at the end of the bridge, right? But that's the victim at the end of the bridge. Precisely my point. In other words, Mr. Fowles, you must have arrived at the bridge after she did. Mr. Fowles, please don't get so worked up. We just want the truth. I got there around 4 o'clock. It's true. I had somewhere to go. A special place. Did you go to this special place before you went to the bridge? Yeah, it's an old temple about 15 minutes from the bridge. Oh yeah, you were talking about... I heard mention of channeling temples. 5 years ago, me and Dahlia, we promised each other. We swore we wouldn't betray each other. She brought a memento to represent our love. A memento? 5 years ago, I hid it under a base of tree there. That pendant! It's a special memory for me. This is it. This is what I went to get. This little bottle and necklace is your memento. It's quite charming, but it looks empty. Your Honor, you heard what my client said. He arrived at the scene at 4 o'clock. But then he left his car unattended and walked away. He was gone for approximately 30 minutes. With that much time, Dahlia Hawthorne could have easily hidden the body in the trunk of his car. No! Indeed, there was certainly enough time for it. I've still got a chance. Mr. Fowles, there's no mistaking it. Huh? Mr. Fowles? What? What the what? That's enough. Please. Witness? I promised her 5 years ago, if it ever happens, that we can't trust each other no more, then we're supposed to drink bottle. No, stop the trial. Your Honor, we need a recess. I was stupid. Couldn't keep promise. So I did it. I drank this. No, we're so close. Just a little more. I was gonna prove your innocence. No, don't want that. Don't trust self. Maybe kill again. Kill sweet Dahlia again. Mr. Fowles! Mr. Armando, thanks for the coffee. Oh, shit. And so my first trial ended, suddenly and tragically. It ended with no winners, only losers. I ended up with a wound that cut so deep into my soul I thought it would never heal. Right, Noble. This is the first on-screen death we've seen in this series. I'm sure it was the same for the young prosecutor as well. But one person, the true criminal, Dahlia Hawthorne, she left the courtroom with a secret smile on her demonically sweet face. And this was the incident where she passed the bottle to Phoenix to try and dispose of that evidence. Right? Unforgivable. That witch. Mr. Armando? We were so close to the truth. It was right there in front of us. You were just a little too soft, kitten. It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Fowles killed himself. And don't cry, kitten. You're gonna make my coffee all salty. I knew it. I knew I wasn't cut out for this. Haha, there's his music. Yeah, as if there was any remaining doubt. Mia. Don't you get it? You can't cry yet. Oh, what? The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. Mr. Armando? No matter how tough the case, no matter how bitter the memories, they always fade over time. Then you file them away and eventually forget them. One year later, in this very same courthouse, I myself got wrapped up in that case. Right. The case we saw in the very first chapter of this game. Yeah, that. Only after that did Dahlia Hawthorne get put on trial for her crimes. The verdict that was ultimately handed down to her was Guilty, of course. Naturally, when the verdict was read, she had a perfect, angelic smile on her face. It was finally all over. At least, that's what I thought at the time. Unfortunately, I couldn't have been more wrong. It's been 5 years, but now something's happened that's made me remember all of this. Alright. That was the end of Chapter 4. So, I will again take a quick break, and we will start at least on the final episode, Bridge to the Turnabout. Again, this is going to be the final episode of Ace Attorney 3 and the Ace Attorney trilogy as a whole. So I'll see you guys in just a few minutes.